So Oleksandr Usyk did this interview yesterday with Seconds Out. As you can see here, he sat with Radio Raheem, the Ring Magazine belt, on the table. And he clarified a few things a few quotes that have been attributed to him that have been circulating in the media over the past few weeks. He said that with regards to him wanting to fight Deontay Wilder, the context of that quote was missing. He was asked questions by the media who were at his press event, and the context was, if you couldn't fight Fury, I believe this is the way he explained it, if you couldn't fight Fury or the Fury fight didn't happen or whatever, then who would you fight instead of Fury? And he said, Deontay Wilder. So it's not like he's trying to avoid the Fury fight and fight Wilder instead. No, he was given a particular scenario, and he said, in that scenario, I'd fight Deontay Wilder. You see, so he was clearing things up. If you haven't watched this interview, I recommend that you do. As I say, it's on the Seconds Out YouTube channel, where he speaks, obviously through an interpreter, and answers all the questions about this Tyson Fury situation. And incidentally, there are stories now on Boxing Scene and various other boxing websites that say that there is negotiations going on between Team Fury and Team Usyk for a fight between the two in early 2023. In fact, this is a different story here. This is the one I'm looking for. Talks reportedly ongoing for Tyson Fury versus Usyk to take place in March 2023 in Saudi Arabia. And this is according to Mike Coppinger, who is normally pretty good with his information. Now, I certainly hope this happens. I certainly hope that both guys decide to go ahead with it. Certainly, Oleksandr Usyk has got the stronger track record in terms of following through on his word than Tyson Fury. Fury is an infamous flip-flopper. I mean, this guy's retired so many times. Earlier on this year, he said, no, I'm done with boxing. I'm not fighting on this, that, and the other. And then a couple weeks later, if that, he comes out and says, okay, I'm coming out of retirement to fight AJ, and I'm going to do this and that. And the latest thing that he's saying is he's going to have whatever it is, 10 more fights or something. I mean, this guy just, he's all over the place. So who knows what to trust with Tyson Fury, whether he's serious about the Usyk fight or not. I certainly hope he is, because an undisputed heavyweight champion is something that not only the division needs, I think boxing needs it, because as the heavyweight division goes, the rest of boxing seems to go in terms of popularity. So let's hope we can get a consolidated champion, one guy who can stand atop everybody else and say, I beat the man who beat the man, and I have all the belts, so nobody can dispute that I am the number one in this division, at least for the time being, because undisputed champions get knocked off too, right? They end up losing. Just ask George Kambosos. But either way, that's something we need. We haven't had an undisputed champion in the heavyweight division since Lennox Lewis, and we've never had a 4-belt undisputed champion in the heavyweight division. So yeah, let's hope that it does take place. I don't care what country it's in, just as long as it happens. At the end of the day, Tyson Fury's British, Oleksandr Usyk's from Ukraine, so a neutral place, Saudi Arabia will be a neutral place, no problem with that. At least then nobody can complain that they didn't have home advantage. And even though Tyson Fury has, of course, Usyk has fought there before, Tyson Fury did that WWE event there before. So as far as I can see, as an outsider, nobody seems to be tied to that country more so than the other person. It's not like AJ, who'd been to Saudi quite a few times, right? Well, he'd been there twice. The second Ruiz fight and the rematch with Usyk, but he'd also spent a lot of time out in the Middle East prior to that, in the UAE and so on. So he kind of had a foothold in the region, and he'd made certain ties and contacts in the region. Whereas Tyson Fury and Usyk, to my knowledge, weren't as familiar or aren't as familiar with that a part of the world and what have you, and they don't maybe have as many contacts there. So to me, it's a cool neutral venue for them to fight from a fairness perspective, right? Nobody hopefully will get any kind of favorable treatment because of the location. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the ongoing talks for Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk to take place March 2023. It would have been nice if this fight was signed, sealed, etc. before Tyson Fury announced the Derek Chisora fight, which I still cannot accept, because for one, He's fought the guy twice before and beaten him convincingly twice before when the guy was in his prime, right? When Chisora was in his prime. So what's the point in the third fight? You already beat the guy twice in his prime and you want to fight him now he's over the hill and you are close to your prime? No. If it's a tune-up fight, fight somebody who we haven't seen you fight before. But he's not doing that. He's not fighting someone we haven't seen him fight before. He's fighting his old mate Derek Chisora for a third time, and he has the audacity, him and Frank Warren, of putting it on pay-per-view. I mean, come on. That's not good enough. If it's just a tune-up, at least have someone we haven't seen you fight before, because it makes it somewhat interesting and it ticks another box. You're trying to build a resume here, right? You're calling yourself the greatest heavyweight of all time. Well, that means that you're going to be compared to the likes of Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali, newsflash, he fought everybody. He didn't have trilogies with people who had already beaten convincingly twice before. Muhammad Ali didn't do that. The trilogies he had with Joe Frazier and Ken Norton were incredibly competitive in all the fights. Yeah? The 3 fights with Frazier were all tremendously competitive, and the 3 fights with Norton were all tremendously competitive. That wasn't the case with the first 2 Fury-Chisora fights. He won the first fight comfortably on points, and the second fight he stopped him. Come on. But anyway, that is what that is. If he comes through Chisora, which he should, with ease, and then goes in and beats Oleksandr Usyk, again, it's going to help his resume, obviously. So let's see if he can do it. He's been talking big. He's been saying Usyk's a middleweight and he'll smash him to pieces and he stands no chance. And just because he beat this bodybuilder, and Fury comes out of all this hyperbole regarding Usyk, saying nobody knew him before he beat up AJ. Well, the casuals maybe didn't know him, but boxing people knew him. Fury knew him. So he's trying to appeal to the casuals by saying stuff like that. He's trying to get them out of their, if they even have the ability to think rationally, but their rational minds. He's trying to get them out of that and play on their ignorance. When nobody knew him and he just beat up this bodybuilder. Who is he? Well, he's somebody that was undisputed champion at cruiserweight, who won all his belts in everybody's backyards, who was one of the best amateurs the world has seen for many decades, Olympic gold medalist and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you're acting like this guy doesn't have credentials. He's got all the credentials, right? We're talking about, in my view, the greatest cruiserweight in history. Tyson Fury keeps calling him a middleweight. No, this is an all-time great we're talking about here. Let me tell you something. Alexander Usyk has solidified himself as an all-time great. Tyson Fury hasn't done that yet, in my view. No, Tyson Fury hasn't yet proved himself. He doesn't have the resume yet to call himself an all-time great. Usyk does. Although Usyk has that resume at cruiserweight. He doesn't have an all-time great resume at heavyweight yet. Yeah? But at cruiserweight, this guy is absolutely certified. There's no doubt in this guy's credentials. So Fury is being really, it's farcical the way that he tries to describe Usyk and downplay what this guy's really all about. So anyway, if they fight, we'll be able to put all of the opinions to bed. And that's why I so desperately want an undisputed champion at heavyweight, because there are so many opinions that people are parading as facts. When people say that Tyson Fury is the best of this generation and this and that and the other, if you disagree with them or if you express any doubts, they say, oh, you're a hater, you're this, you're that. No. Forget all that. The only way you can prove who the best is in the ring. You don't prove it in the court of public opinion. That's not where you prove who the best is. You prove who the best is in the ring. So until the guys are fought in the ring, then I'm not going to, and I never have, come out with any kind of definitive statements about who the best heavyweight of this generation is. I think that's ridiculous. Yeah, to say it as a statement of fact. If you want to give an opinion and think that, okay, I think Fury will turn out to be, when all is said and done, the best of this generation, that's fine. But to say it as a statement of fact as it stands right now, that's ridiculous, that's silly. He hasn't yet proven it. So if he gets in the ring with Usyk, we'll find out. We'll see who can show and prove themselves to be the number one, the man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you're tired of the biased narratives and mass censorship on mainstream platforms, and you want to be part of a community of critical thinkers who love free speech just as much as you do, then come and join me on Patreon and access my weekly no-holds-barred, censorship-free podcast where we lift the lid on a wide variety of controversial topics. It's not mainstream friendly, it's not politically correct, but that's the whole point. We dare to stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Hot Topics. You'll gain access to a minimum of 2 hours of exclusive content every single week, including podcasts, videos, interviews, live stream Q&As, as well as my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Not to mention a vast back catalog of hundreds of hours of previous episodes. You can listen via the Patreon app with the option to download in high quality MP3. We've also got an Element group where you can come and chat and hang out with myself and other members. Unlike Discord, it has full end-to-end encryption, is decentralized, and is 100% censorship free. You can also send voice notes as well as much larger audio and video files than you can on Discord. So come and sign up on Patreon. There's no contract, there's no commitment, you can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a cup of coffee. So I'll see you over there. I'm out.